Hello again, I am Blunty and you are watching me on a 3DS. That's right, the new firmware that just launched today worldwide enables some nifty video functions on the 3DS, and I thought I would give them a closer look. As you already be able to tell, you can record live video through the 3DS. But anyway, let's take a closer look at what the new features are, what they do, how you can use them, and are they any good?
Okie dokie, so here we are, my 3DS all loaded up with the new firmware. Let's go to the camera application and bam! Oh, look at that. You can see I've got it accidentally at exactly the right angle, so you can see I'm recording this on the iPhone 4S, which is just for the sake of the low tech. The camera you have with you is the most useful one kind of mentality of having a 3D or a video camera at all on your 3DS. So as before, it looks pretty much the same, except you've got the little movie icon up here now to denote that you're in movie mode or stills mode. And of course you can switch between the two just as you can on any smartphone. It works pretty much the same. Hit the button, it blanks out, goes to the thing and changes. You can go front or back camera as before as well. I've got a little guy sitting down there just for the sake of having something in view rather than the empty desk. So where's my stylus? There's my stylus. I've got the 3D effect toned down, of course, because you can't see it if I'm recording this with another camera. It just doesn't work that well. So let's take a look at the functions. Standard video mode, you can, shoot left or right, bumper buttons to start shooting, or your A button, whatever it is. And once you hit record, it starts recording. Easy peasy, simple, no muss, no fuss, easy. And as you can see up in the top of the screen here, you've got a little timer going. I've got 12 seconds worth of video recorded of this little guy, and your time limit is 10 minutes. So let's stop that there. It's processing, saving it to the memory card. Now we've also got a couple of other interesting functions as well. We've got down here, I don't know why that's not working. Normally that's a slider so you can adjust. Oh, let's turn the 3D on, that's why it's not on. There we go. So it probably looks funny in the camera now, but yeah, you can manually adjust the 3D effect if the autofocus 3D effect isn't working properly for you, or you want a specific kind of composition, much like you can in the stills mode. So we'll turn that back off again, and you can hit this button here and it brings up your tricky dicky interesting stuff. Interval shot mode, which is time-lapse. You got frame pick, which I'll come back to in a second, and clip link. Now if we hit clip link, what we can do is pause the recording. So we can record this little guy down here, and then we pause the recording and we'll tilt up and record those guys over there, and we'll pause again, we'll tilt down, and we'll come back to, I don't know, this burnt out matchstick, and we'll record that, and we'll do this. And when you finish, all those separate little video snippets will become all part of the single file, so you don't have to do any manual editing. It's of limited functionality and you've got to know exactly what you're doing, but it's a nice easy way. Say if you're doing a product demonstration using this to record it with, you can pause that and change your thing and do the thing and press pause again. If you're just doing simple jump cuts in a very planned way, it becomes useful.
You'll notice by now that sound is rather the Achilles heel. It's the Achilles thigh and the Achilles shin and the Achilles knee and the Achilles hip and the Achilles elbow and the Achilles larynx and the Achilles eyebrow and the Achilles molar and the Achilles wisdom tooth and the Achilles eyeball and the Achilles earwax and the Achilles chest hair and the Achilles nipple, and basically it's awful. But what does save it is the added functions, namely the ability to do time-lapse. That's interval shooting, so you can capture things happening over a long period and squish them down into a video happening over a short period, like, watching alfalfa grow or exciting things like that. But perhaps somewhat more excitingly is the ability to do stop motion. And stop motion is something I have a lot of experience with, and the stop motion functions on this are very, very basic, but they work just fine, and they're hopefully going to encourage many, many people to experiment with this wonderful, fun, creative little hobby of just making little animations using toys or clay or whatever it is you do. I usually use Lego, as some of you might know.
Now, frame pick is more interesting because now we can, let's just set that up here. Can you see that alright? Yeah. So shoot. Oh, it only shot a single frame of video. So then we can Move this guy over here, and shoot again, 2 frames, and over here, we shoot again, 3 frames, and by now, if you know anything about stop motion animation, you might have picked up that this frame pick mode is a very strange name for stop motion, which I don't know why they didn't call it stop motion, because that's exactly what it is. So we'll move this guy around, boom, 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 boom. It's very, very limited and simple, but there we go. We've ticked over to 1 second, 12 frames in 1 second, which means we're shooting on 2s in stop motion language, which means for every frame of 24 frames as usual, you've got 2 frames. It's basically the same frame rate they actually shot most of Wallace and Gromit in and things like that, so it's pretty useful, and it's normally what I shoot in as well. So we'll just finish that and it'll play back for us here in a sec. Oh, look at that! Wee, wee, wee! Okay, that's enough of that. Right now, so let's talk about quality. In fact, let's not talk about quality, let's show you what it's capable of by doing a few demonstrations.
But the secret to getting anything even halfway usable out of it is just to pour the light on. I mean, you know, I'm using a couple of big studio LED lights here that just pump out the light, and I'm sitting closer than I ever do with any other of my cameras, and you can still see I'm blowing out here in the shadows where I can. There's a bit of noise, and it's not terrific, but I didn't really expect it to be, because I already knew the stills coming out of this thing weren't terrific.
Okay, so we've established you need lots and lots and lots of light to make it, or stop making it look so crappy, but if you hit the video button here, which is already highlighted, you can switch into a low light mode, or so-called low light mode. So why don't we switch off my big lights here. You can already see in the frame, in the top frame there, it's very, very stuttering, so its low light mode is in fact a slow shutter speed mode. And we'll turn off both my lights here, and we'll start recording. Now, as you can see, very, very, very laggy, and frankly this is all but useless. Let's see what the iPhone does in the same conditions. Oh, look at that, nice clean. But yeah, well, look, it's taken ages just to catch up. That's ridiculous. Come on, tilt up, tilt up, tilt up. I've tilted up. Come on, catch up with me. Too good. That's hopeless. Absolutely useless. So let's have a look at the effects here. We've got black and white, which is, as you might expect, black and white. There's sepia, which is no surprise. Negative, which is kind of cool, but, you know, pretty pointless. Solarize, which always looks hideous no matter what camera or function you're doing. It's just bad. And back to normal. So black and white's the only real useful one from my perspective. So we'll close that. We'll close that. And we'll give some black and white recording a little bit of a go here. Now this might, actually, I haven't tested this on record, I'm doing all these tests live to camera. This might actually look better, because black and white often looks better with that little bit of grain that these cheapy cameras have, because, you know, back in the days when black and white was the standard, film was kind of grainy, so it looks kind of good. But, you know, we'll see. Anyway, that'll be enough for demonstration purposes, so we'll stop here.
I was hoping for it to be at least good enough to have a little fun with, and the live recording stuff, if you're planning on using the sound, as you can hear, don't worry about it. If you're just recording stuff to put together later with music on top or something, yeah. If you're doing stop motion, it doesn't record sound anyway, you've got to add your own sound later on, yeah. If you're doing time-lapse recording, yeah, fantastic. But, yeah, it's got some limitations, and it's not very high res, but you know what? It's not designed as a camera, it's just some fun things you can do with the cameras that are on the device, and by that score it's okay by me, as long as it encourages people to play a little and have some fun. That's fine, I think. And the best part about all this is the videos that you record are saved to the SD card, of course. They're not too big as far as file sizes go because they're quite low resolution and quite a low bitrate, I would suspect. But they are saved in a standard AVI video format, which means you can easily pull the videos off your 3DS and throw them on your computer to email them around or edit them, throw them into Windows Movie Maker or Final Cut or iMovie or whatever you're using. It's a nice standard file that should have no issues going anywhere you need it to go. Anyway, so that's it from me. I wanted to have a closer look at the video functions. I know there's probably going to be a lot of people on various Nintendo sites and gaming sites and things like that going through all the different nifty things that the firmware can do. And there are some nifty things that this new firmware can do on the 3DS. I just wanted to have a closer look at the video stuff because that's where I live, basically, and I figured some people out there might appreciate someone who knows what they're talking about when it comes to video, talking about the video functions. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time.